Hey everybody, thank you for joining my channel. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment if you will. I want to speak on the fact that people need to listen. They need, like I said in the other video, that's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we need to listen twice as much and talk less. Because I actually met this young lady maybe 6 years ago, and I was just listening to her, and she said she was just telling me about her childhood. She was telling me how her mother didn't listen to her when she was molested, and how I think her mother's boyfriend did that, and like her mother still dated him, and like you know how there could be it's like the worst part of it is not even the fact that, okay, it's one thing that if I was molested, okay, that's one thing, but on top of that, for if I told you and I tell you this, is not, you don't acknowledge that, and you still sweep it under the rug, and you act like that didn't happen, and you don't try to get me any counseling or any therapy for me to talk to somebody about this. And it's like, so of course it's going to make me be quiet and be silent and not say anything. So now I'm going to be in this victim state of existence, because if I not acknowledge that I experienced this trauma, it makes it even worse that your parent don't even acknowledge this, and your parent doesn't because some people have been molested and their family members would say, don't talk about that, or that didn't happen to you, why are you saying that? Like, make the child feel even worse. And it's like you doing more harm to the child by saying, for them not validating their concerns and not addressing their issues. So back to the young lady was telling me about her experience as a child, and how her mother just kind of ignored her when she told her about her mother's boyfriend abusing her, and her mother still dating him. And that happens a lot of times in blacks culture and society, when and the mama still date the man, and and she just turn a blind eye. And so of course that causes scars, and it's going to lead to your adulthood if you never heal from that and you never address that. Like, that's a very toxic upbringing. So my point was, the girl was telling me this, and she was like, she said, you could really help people. You could really, I was like, I think I might need some training or something. She said, no, you don't need to do nothing. She said she felt really comfortable with talking to me, and that by talking to me, it really helped her. So it kind of bring tears to my eyes a little bit, because I'm like, I didn't really know what she meant exactly at the time, but I understand now exactly what she means. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I actually used to see a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and he was a really good psychiatrist, because he listened. And I actually studied psychology for a little bit, and the one main thing that people lack is actively listening to a person. So if you grew up in a person, and you was raised in a home where you were not, no one listened to your concerns, and they never considered your point of view, of course that's going to have an effect over you down the road. Of course that's going to affect you later on in life, because it's like you don't know how to express yourself, you don't know how to verbalize yourself, you don't know how to get your point across, you don't know who you are, because your voice is not being validated. So that is a problem. So when you get around somebody, people don't always need your advice, they don't always need you to tell them what to do. Everybody, and I'm like, I was just actively listening to that girl, and I was just like, I was really in tune with her. I mean, it's like, I don't talk to everybody, but if I start to talk to you, I must feel comfortable with you. And, some people kind of flip that back on you when you tell them your story, and you expressing yourself, and you being true and authentic and transparent. Some people abuse what you say. They try to flip it on you and try to use it against you. But I'm not that kind of person. I will actively listen to your concerns and what you have to say. And you will feel 100 times better, 1,000,000 times better by me just listening to what you have to say. And I would feel 100 times better if a person just truly listen to what I have to say, and they don't have to interject and cut me off and say, well, this and this and that, or well, this and this, or this and that and that. Like, It's you. I mean, you take your turn. You talk. It's a conversation go both ways. You say what you need to say, then I say what I need to say. This is not a one-sided conversation. I should be able to express myself and say what I need to say, because there are some people that love to cut you off. People, this is a real thing now. This is not about being friends with your parents. This is about people have the tendency to not listen to what a person has to say. They have a tendency to jump to conclusions. They love to assume things. They love to finish people's sentences. They love to finish people's thoughts. They don't let a person get their words out to where they freely express themselves, to where let a person talk. People be on they on a time frame. That's why psychiatrists charge so much for hours consultations, because this is going to take some time for this person to actually get their words across, to communicate. People, they pay to go see therapists because they're the only people that's going to actually listen to what they have to say. The average person in your life, your friends, family members, or loved ones, the coworker, or whatever, they don't have the bandwidth or the attention span. They might have a short attention span. They don't want to listen to what you have to say because they're trying to manipulate the narrative and manipulate the situation to their advantage. So they'll be damned. So if they don't hear what you have to say, they can't address your concerns. They don't want to take responsibility and be held accountable for your point of view or your actions. So they rather shut you up and make you be quiet to suit their needs, to keep the dynamic the way that it is, so they can manipulate the narrative and the way that they want it for the outcome to be. And so as long as I can keep you quiet and you don't say nothing, and you don't speak your opinion, and you in the Stockholm syndrome, and now you don't have a voice, and now you're not trying to get out of this abusive relationship. You have acclimated, you adapted to this abuse, and you don't even know that it's abuse anymore, because you've been told to shut up so much, shut up, shut up, shut up, that the criminal don't even have to lock you up. The door, he can leave the door unlocked, and you still not gonna go out the door, because now you so accustomed to being abused that you don't even know that you need to get out of there, that you need to escape. So that's what I'm talking about. That's a problem for me. So people need to shut up, be quiet, and listen to what your loved one has to say. Be quiet. Quit talking so much. Let a person say what they need to say without you, I want to say, fucking up they train of thought, fucking up they thought process. Let them get their shit off their chest without you saying some dumbass, putting your own opinion in it. You do not have to verbalize your opinion while somebody is really expressing themselves and they have a concern, a real issue. But yes, that's the problem for me. But hopefully you all gather what I'm putting down. Just learn to hold your tongue and let a person express themselves, because I study psychology, and most people can solve their own problems if they just have somebody to talk to and somebody to actively listen without interjecting and judging them and criticizing them and critiquing them, and always trying to look for a solution to your own problem. And we could go to God, we can go to the Most High and all of that. But if you have people still do need to verbalize these things. I'm making content on YouTube, and it's healthy for me to get my voice out, because this is stuff that's been held in, and I was shy as a child at some point in time. I didn't always used to be shy, but I had my shy moments. So kids that are shy, or adults that are shy, is because for somewhere along the line they felt like they couldn't talk and they couldn't voice their opinion. They felt like their opinion was invalid. So if someone is abusing them, they're not going to verbalize it, because they feel like, why would I say anything when I'm not even going to be acknowledged? My emotion, I don't feel comfortable with talking to my parents. I don't feel comfortable talking to my mother. I don't feel comfortable talking to my father, because you already know that they don't really care about you. They really don't care about you. They really don't care. They really don't. They could care less. And it's going to make you feel even worse when you tell them what's the abuse you're suffering, and they could care less. That's going to be even worse than the person actually abusing you, because it's like your own mother doesn't care about your concerns, like, to the point where they if you hurt yourself and they just ignore it, like they don't even put a band-aid on it, they don't even put no peroxide on your scraped up knee, they don't put no peroxide on it, they don't put no band-aid on it. How do you think this is going to affect a child as they grow up? It's one thing to create to not that's not a healthy way to grow up. That's point blank period. I don't care about you have to raise your kids for survival and it's a cold world and all of that. That has nothing to do with your parents showing concern and knowing, letting them know that I love you and I'm here for you and I care about you and I don't want to see you hurt and suffering. Because if a person is raised that way, they're going to be cold and distant and not be able to express themselves effectively to get their point across. And that's going to come off, they may be abusive towards other people because they lack sympathy and lack empathy towards other people. So yeah, and that's why that's a problem. But yeah, remember at the end of the day to always keep the Most High first. Bye.